Jay Chow can do cash grab and nobody will care. He'll just issue an NFT. What does it do? Absolutely nothing. People will buy it.
What's a token? What are NFTs? What is fungible? What is non-fungible? What are NFTs?
I would like to change the viewpoint. Like most of the time when people think NFTs now, they think art. They think
exactly.
They think art, right? They think it's selling digital art. But actually, what really constitutes the value of an NFT is that NFTs represent digital ownership. That's key, digital ownership. So look beyond the artwork or the picture or whatever you see of an NFT. Essentially, what it is digital ownership. And this ownership thing is a huge thing. You can use it to own anything. So I give you an example, Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is the one that Justin Bieber, Jimmy Fallon, Paris Hilton tried to promote on their show and all that. They have the picture of the ape. So everybody think, well, why are you spending all that money for a picture that I can just download online? Yeah. The difference is that the NFTs represents the ownership of it. So you can to put it a different way, you can take a picture of the Mona Lisa, but you don't own it, right? The value is that, the NFTs represent actual ownership. And the NFTs can also give you access to their community. It's like a membership, right? A lot of people consider the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs like the black card or the VVIP of the NFT world. It's a flex. That's currently what's really driving it, if you ask me. It's a bit of a flex, right? And then and you become a part of this elite community on the same level as like people like Jimmy Fallon, right? Or Justin Bieber. So people like that association as well, that we are part of the same community because we bought the same collection of NFTs. That's why they're so expensive, etc. So you gain access to that. You own that membership card. That's what that can be seen as, right? And on the other hand, like in the case of the other extreme, like mine is, we can now tag it to an actual physical asset. Theoretically, you could issue an NFT that represents the rights of your house and sell off the NFT equals selling your house off. That could be done as well. So it's really about how you design the NFT in terms of ownership. So when you buy art, you're not buying art NFTs. You're buying the ownership of that artwork. That's what the NFT represents. Right. Because I can tell you a lot of people actually understand NFTs better than they understand cryptocurrency. Like a lot of people still can't wrap their head around how Bitcoin works, but they can buy an artwork as an NFT. That doesn't seem very scary. Or the process might be difficult, but the acceptance is really high. So nothing has driven more people into this blockchain space than NFTs because it's easier to understand for the average person.
And is it easy for someone to load their stuff? Because I remember that guy from Indonesia that sold his selfies for
Ozali every day. Yeah.
So is it easy for anyone just to load anything?
Actually, if you're just doing images and artwork, it's very easy. It's such a developed market right now that you don't even need any coding experience. You can go to a marketplace or platforms. It's WYSIWYG, you drag and drop, click, issue an NFT. It really is even easier than issuing a cryptocurrency, right? It's so easy. So anyone can do it. A lot of artists are doing it because they don't need any tech knowledge to upload their artwork on an like OpenSea and sell it. The barrier to it is actually very low. The only challenge is they need to learn to accept cryptocurrencies and convert it into cash. But that's something that they can learn. But to create an NFT is actually easier than withdrawing the money.
So if I want to start getting into this NFT thing, and what is the first step to doing it?
Well, I think you first probably want to figure out what's your game plan. Let's use an actual example, right? Steve Aoki, the DJ?
Yeah.
He did his Aokiverse thing, right? So, which I bought one, right? So it's literally done.
What have you not bought, man? How much you spend a month, man?
I'm not gonna answer that question. Anyway, but then I'm not a person who just talks, right? Amazingly in this industry, right, there's a lot of experts who have never bought an NFT. I'm literally buying NFTs when I'm talking to people sometimes. So I'm having a meeting. 1 second, I'm concluding a sale. Okay, let's continue, right? So but okay, let me come back to Steve Aoki. So Steve Aoki came out with his Aokiverse thing, right? And it's an Aokiverse passport. The NFT is a so-called passport, right? And then by having that, you actually get access to his concerts, you get access to content, you might get access to merchandise. In fact, the highest tier of his passport gets you a WhatsApp chat with him directly. Like you can have a group which only you and him. So he's even selling access to himself. So his passport is access, right? You're selling access. So that's what a lot of, I would say, celebrities do it. Another person that you can look at, which is a celebrity that I think doing pretty well, is actually Paris Hilton. Now, for whatever people's image about her, public image, she's actually
Very
a
smart
savvy
businesswoman,
entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Savvy entrepreneur. And she's just monetizing, she's just creating kind of artwork, creating kind of value, and then she sells NFTs, right? She does her own Paris Hilton NFT. So it's a way for personalities to monetize their influence. And you can do it in the form of digital merchandise or special access to groups so that your fans can get in touch with you. So they have a personality has to decide on what that value is. So you're going to see people like do Irene Dao, Puyi Dao. I think that's Puyi is Malaysian. She's also doing a Dao. I don't know what it does. I didn't look into it, but I know it's happening, right? And you give people a certain kind of value. So the personality has to give them a kind of value. So what value is that, right? Some people sell their what's that called? Their art, their music, for example. Jay Chow is using it with his label. So what my WhatsApp profile is a Fanta Bear, which is actually it's done with his fashion label. I guess I don't really know the exact details, and they use it as a collective membership for people, and they get first dips into merch, etc. So it's real and concert tickets, blah blah blah. So you have to figure that out, and then you can design it. It's quite open-ended. The reason why it's hard for people to understand is because it's really up to you what you want to give and how you design it and whether or not people will pay you for it. If you're famous enough of a celebrity, actually people don't even care. They just buy it because it's yours, right? To me, that's why people bought Nimwe. That's why people bought the Jay Chow Fanta Bear. That's why a lot of people bought these, like Edison recently had an NFT sale, right? It's because it's him and they just want something that's him, if you're big enough. If you're not that big of an artist, then you got to be more tactical, right? You got to be more tactical. Like, what do you want to do? Is it for merch? Are you selling T-shirts, etc.? What do you want to achieve? And then you got to figure out a new model. And this is a question I get almost every day now. Like people, like, I want to get into this NFTs. Then I'll be like, okay, what do you want to achieve? Are you just trying to raise money for your business, or it's just a cash grab? If it's a cash grab, then you got to be really famous. You got to be like Jay Chow famous. Jay Chow can do cash grab and nobody will care. He'll just issue an NFT. What does it do? Absolutely nothing. People will buy it, right? Because it's him. But only if you're that level, right? I'm not saying he is, by the way. I think Fanta Bear has more utility than that. But I'm just saying that if you really want to be a cash grab, you got to have that level of fame, because people don't care. They just want to own anything that is created by you. You have that kind of fan base. If you don't have that kind of fan base, then you're going to figure out more value. And one of the things that's challenging is that NFTs is global. If you're a local personality, it's not easy for you to get a sellout success. It's actually very hard to sell out your NFTs. A lot of people think Ghazali is like an exception, and he sold it for very little. Everybody thinks he made $1 million. He didn't, because he sold it for like a few dollars, and then and it's just selfies of himself, right? But for him, it's a lot of money, surely, and that's like a fad. It's like people are buying Ghazali every day because other people are buying it, and someone was saying this is really cool, and they bought it, but it doesn't do anything, right? The NFT, right? So there's also an element of luck. Like he got famous, right? That because there's not that many Indonesian NFT projects out there. And there are other people like I know in Malaysia, like Asian, Hikari Adventure, right? Done by entrepreneurs in Malaysia. And they spend a lot of time and effort to get it to sell out. It's not easy. And they have to sell it global. You have to have a global mind. I see a lot of people, they just think I want to sell to Malaysians. Malaysia is not big enough of a market. You got to sell it globally. You got to think global. If your thing has a global value, you're willing to market all the way to the US, you can then do a good NFT project, right?
But where is the site that you go to? Like
on a basic level, the biggest marketplace that can do NFT issuance is OpenSea. So that's what a lot of people use. A lot of artists use. Go to OpenSea, they click create, and then they'll come out with a page. You can put in the name, and then you can upload an image, and then you're good to go. That's the most basic level. If you're doing a massive project, then you're going to need developers, etc. Right? Yeah, as well. So there are many ways to go about it.
So for TL and me, it's OpenSea first.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I would recommend that you just do it just for the hell of it. Like, let's say you have some content that you feel like you want to try to sell it and content, right? It's the thing is about content is like you can put up anything. You could even do a whole series about famous people that you shook hands with and you want to sell the photos of it, you also can. Like there's really you can not imagine the kind of stuff that goes on OpenSea. Just sometimes you go through and you boggle your mind what people put up, right? Sometimes for sale.
But then how will people find what you sell, right?
Yeah, so that's where marketing comes in, right? That's why people do a lot of marketing on Discord. They do a lot of marketing on Twitter. Some people do digital ads, to see your collection, then they go and buy it. That's something that you need to do marketing for, right? And it depends on, and sometimes it's just luck. Really, it's like Gozali every day, pure luck. I mean, I would never buy it.
It wasn't his like just. It's a selfie.
Yeah, 5,000
multiple selfies, but it's right.
Yeah. It's just luck. Sometimes it's just luck. A lot of stories you hear where things sell out crazy, right? Honestly, it's just luck. Or people like to be supportive. Like anything that's done by a young kid, 12-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid, right? May not do anything, but because people want to support a young person, it's not very expensive. It sells out. As long as that news gets out, and there's a lot of stories. Yeah, I have no idea how many people sell young kid launch an NFT with dad, sells out. Very common story because people just want to support a kid because it's global, right? If they don't limit themselves to just their own country, even a very simple idea, as long as you can connect with people on the internet, it sells.
Hey guys, we hope you loved that discussion, but for the full discussion and all our other videos, click right here. And remember, don't be a dick.